I also wanted to show you this. Angus Johnston is a history of student protest. Is a professor of the history of student protests, and apparently he took some calls from cynical assholes yesterday.
Past and present. Our guest is history.
So I want to briefly look at this a little bit.
Student activism, and Mr. Johnston, first on the scope of these protests over the war in Gaza. How do they compare to other student protests of the 21st century? And how do they compare to Vietnam protests of the 60s and 70s?
Well, we're nowhere near the level of scale of the Vietnam War protests yet. But the thing that's extraordinary to me about this wave of protest is not just the number of protests that we're seeing, not just the number of students who are participating in them, but the incredible pace of acceleration that we've seen. These have gone from something fairly small to something that is sweeping the country and continuing to grow in the space of about 2 weeks.
And why the timing of this? Obviously, the war in Gaza has been going on since early October. Why is this all happening now, and why have these past 2 weeks been such a focal point?
Well, it's clear that
I think what needs to happen is that beyond the students, beyond SJP, beyond JVP, Jewish Voice for Peace, Students for Justice in Palestine, and beyond YDSA, there needs to be more momentum from the broader student body. But also on top of that, there needs to be more momentum from unions that come in to show support, whether it be grad student unions, whether it be faculty unions across the board, and just other unions as well. It's just that right now there is a lot of momentum on this front. There is a lot of momentum on this front, and we must not let up. We must not cave. We must not capitulate. That the goal, obviously, the goal obviously from the state, the goal obviously from the universities is to violently suppress these demonstrations. UAW 4811 announced that they're going to go support the California students. Hell yeah. I hate the media's insane pro-Israel coverage so much. It's even made my mom a little anti-Semitic. I've had to explain to her the difference between Judaism and Zionism multiple times now, and luckily she's starting to understand. I used your Christian Zionist takes, and that helped a lot, so thanks. Yes, you should always do that. You should always describe to anyone and everyone in this time when people are developing anti-Semitic tendencies as a consequence of like Israel consistently trying to shield themselves from criticism by channeling Judaism in the most cynical way possible, in the most disgusting way possible, that it absolutely has nothing to do with Judaism whatsoever. And as a matter of fact, Jewish students who are anti-Zionists are at the forefront of these protests and are overrepresented in the arrests, are overrepresented in the harm that actually the state conducts on Jewish student populations. Remember, Jewish revolutionaries have always been at the forefront of social justice historically. It is actually the exact opposite. While Israel desperately tries, and very successfully, in my opinion, tries to say that they represent the interests of all Jewish people around the planet and marries their unjustifiable violent atrocities with the long history and culture of Judaism, which is gross. It's gross to do so. It is anti-Semitic to do so. That's exactly what the Nazis say. You must not forget, Kent State, 3 out of the 4 students that were murdered by the National Guard in Kent State were Jewish. Jewish students are also overrepresented, like I said, in the arrests. Since October 7, I've had a shit ton of anti-Zionist voices on this broadcast, many of whom are American Jews. Some of them are anti-Zionist Israeli Jews. They are some of the loudest voices against Israel. Minimizing their impact, making them seem like they're tokens, is one of the grossest, most anti-Semitic things you can do. Jews across the board, let's not forget, Jews across the board, 15 million of them on this planet, okay, are not even a fraction of the Christian Zionist movement in this country, okay? Christian Zionists in this country, those who believe in a theological reason for Israel to be a Jewish ethno-state because they believe in Armageddon. They believe in the rapture occurring, Jesus Christ coming back to earth, like anime shit. They are far larger than the number of Jews on the planet, okay? anti-Zionist and Zionist Jews alike. This is why I always say, this is why I always say when people go, Zionist Jews own the U.S. government, yes or no? No, of course not, dumb f***. Of course not. Do you not listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth? There are a shit ton more Christian Zionists in this country than there are Jewish Zionists, okay? I do not know if you are willingly or unwillingly channeling fascist propaganda here. If every single Jew in the United States of America tomorrow collectively decided that they are all loud and proud anti-Zionists, America's actions in Israel would not change, okay? Evangelicals have a broad, outsized, evangelicals in this country have phenomenal outsized political power, okay? White evangelical Protestants specifically love becoming a Nazi just through weapons grade stupidity. Exactly. However, this is absolutely a problem. This is why anti-Semitism, real anti-Semitism, of course, increases anytime Israel does some shit like this. Okay? And because people lack critical thinking skills, they just see like Israel doing this and then repping the Star of David, repping Judaism while doing this, and claiming that they're doing this for Judaism, claiming that they're doing this for Jewish people across the board, and then the media literally also repeats that propaganda, and then the media also cynically weaponizes real and much more fake instances of anti-Semitism, such as the ADL claiming that anytime they hear someone say from the river to the sea, Palestine should be free is anti-Semitic incident, which leads to anti-Semitic incidents rising by 7,000% or whatever the and the media just unconditionally reports that as though it's like, without uncritically reports that as though that is actually completely valid. When people see that reality, they go, well, what the going on here? This is such a wonderful opportunity for the fascist Nazis in the United States of America, okay? A phenomenal opportunity for the opportunist fascists to be like, see, look at what the Jews are doing.
Columbia University's decision 2 weeks ago on Thursday to send in the police and shut down their encampment really sparked a response among students around the country. And so we began to see a lot of reactions to that. And then as it got more media attention, as people started hearing about them, they continued to snowball. And we've seen that a lot of times in the past, including in the 60s and even earlier. But there seems to be a particular level of intensity of the student response around the country this time. And I have some theories about that, but I don't think we fully understand it just yet.
What are your theories?
Well, clearly, this is an issue that a lot of students feel very strongly about. We are in an era where images from war and violence across the world are things that we not only see in our living rooms on television, but we see on our screens on social media and so on. I also, though, think that we need to start thinking about the fact that this is the post-COVID generation of American students. Just about every undergrad on American campuses right now are students who started college after the COVID lockdowns. And so this is really the first post-pandemic or post-lockdown wave of American student protest. And I think that suggests really interesting things about what's going on.
How much did you watch what happened last night? New York Police Department clearing the students out of Hamilton Hall in Columbia. At the same time, overnight, seeing the violence between protesters and counter-protesters at UCLA. After several hours, LA Police Department moves in to separate the two of them. Yeah,
I was watching in New York and listening to the Columbia student radio station. I found an old FM radio that I had tucked away somewhere. The images that, and certainly the Columbia images and the City College arrests and violence were really troubling. But the thing that really struck me was what was going on at UCLA, where the encampment at UCLA was essentially raided by counter-protesters who were engaging in what seemed like really aggressive acts of violence. It took hours for the police to be called in, and then once the police were called in, according to the LA Times this morning, they stood and watched as counter-protesters were firing off some sort of tear gas kind of a thing or pepper spray firing off.
They were using bear mace the counter protesters, the Zionist agitators, okay, all the Beverly Hills Persians went to UCLA campus. All the Bel Air and Beverly Hills Persians got up in arms. Okay, don't even go to the school at all. Got up in arms, went over there to beat the shit out of the UCLA campus students. Yeah, they used bear mace, skunk spray, and fireworks as they screamed, "It's time for a second Nakba." Ironic, because so many Persian Jews oftentimes get shit on by the American state because they look a little too much like they're Muslim. And yet here they are doing West Bank style pogroms.
Fireworks and engaging in physical altercations with the demonstrators as well.
In terms of what's happening on these campuses, what we're seeing, you mentioned the images, the social media images. It was a caller in our first segment, the Washington Journal, said in the 60s, we weren't waving Vietnamese flags. We were waving peace flags. And I think it was a she, didn't understand why all these protesters at the universities today are waving Palestinian flags. In terms of the images that we're seeing and how it compares to the past, what are you finding?
Well, I think that we really do misremember a lot about the 1960s. The cultural memory that we have of what was going on in the 60s is in many cases very, very different from what actually happened. During the Vietnam War protests, there were people waving North Vietnamese flags. There were students chanting, "Ho, ho, Ho Chi Minh, Viet Cong is going to win," and "Hey, hey, LBJ, how many kids did you kill today?" And famously, American student organizers went to North Vietnam and toured some of these sites. This is why a lot of people, including I'm sure a lot of your viewers, are still angry at Jane Fonda today. She did a photo op with an anti-aircraft gun. So I think the idea that that American 60s protest that was protesting violence and protesting the brutality of war was not critical of America and not finding common cause with some of the people who were on the other side is just misremembering what actually took place.
Angus Johnston is with us, history professor. It's Hostess Community College at the City University of New York. And he's with us until about 8:45. So go ahead and start calling in with your questions, your comments. Same lines as before in our previous segment. Democrats 202-748-8000, Republicans 202-748-8001, Independents 202-748-8002, and then students, administrators, faculty at colleges and universities 202-748-8003. As folks are calling in, Professor Johnston, Saturday is the 54th anniversary of the Kent State massacre. We had a caller who was a freshman at Kent State on Monday on this program to talk about his experiences and how these images have brought back that experience that day. How did Kent State become such a historic tragedy?
So Kent State is actually only one of 4 campuses in the late 1960s where police officers or other law enforcement officials deputized in one way or another killed protesters or passersby. There were people killed at Berkeley in '69, at South Carolina State College in 1968, and at Jackson State just a week and a half after Kent State in 1970. Kent State, though, was significant and was transformative for a few reasons. I think one is that Kent State happened in the middle of a huge upsurge of protest in response to Nixon's decision to invade Cambodia. Many, many campuses shut down. Many, many campuses stepped back from the kind of confrontation that happened at Kent State. But in Kent State, the governor of Ohio was running for the United States Senate, and he did not want to appear weak, so he sent the National Guard onto campus. 4 students were killed, all of them well over 100 yards, several hundred yards away from the National Guard troops. And crucially, Two of those students, by the way, were just passersby. And crucially, there was a journalist for the student newspaper who had a camera and took a bunch of photos, which were then able to be delivered to the AP and ran on the front page of newspapers all over the country the next morning, including the famous one of the woman wailing in front of behind a dead body of a fallen student that is so well known today. And then, as now, images are really powerful in shaping national coverage and national memory.
Talking with Angus Johnson this morning and taking your phone calls about the student protests, past and present. Matt is our first caller in this segment out of Falls Church, Virginia. Democrat. Matt, you're on with Professor Johnson.
Good morning, Professor Johnson. I have a comment and then a question for you. My comment is I'm not really well versed on the Palestinian-Israeli conflict long term, and I don't really have an opinion on what would be best for them, but I really look at, like, the rights for protests in this country, and it seems crazy to me, the overreaction to protesters on these college campuses. I mean, just these small groups of kids and they're being surrounded by giant hordes of police seems crazy to me. So my question for you is, do you think more college campuses are going to have protests now that this overreaction will probably lead to another reaction?
That's a great question, and I think there are two parts to the answer to it. One is clearly the crackdowns are prompting more protests. We are seeing that spiral happening. But also, I think it's really important to remember that police have been called out and arrests have been made only in a minority of the campuses where these protests are happening right now. There are a lot of campuses where the administrators have chosen either to just let the protesters be and allow them to continue their encampments, or to negotiate with them. At Brown, just yesterday, it was announced that they had negotiated a settlement and the students were going to step away, and there was going to be a discussion on campus about Israeli divestment in the fall. My own daughter is a student at MIT. There, the encampment, the last I heard, had been allowed to go on peacefully for more than a week. So the crackdowns that we are seeing are not inevitable. They are not something that is happening at every campus, and many campuses that are not experiencing these crackdowns are finding that they are able to continue their business and continue the semester peacefully.
Returning to Kent State for a second, you mentioned the photographs. Is it Howard Ruffner that you were referring to, who was the photographer there?
Yes, yes.
So he, in 2019, spoke about taking those photographs at an event. He was releasing a book about the photographs from Kent State in 1970. It's
UCLA. Here is okay. We're gonna talk about the UCLA protests in a second and the counter protests who fucking went nutty mode. UCLA supply needs urgent: headlamps, airsoft goggles, gas masks and respirators, skater helmets, shields, wood for barriers, knee and elbow pads, rain ponchos, canopies, utility gloves of various sizes, super bright flashlights with strobes, charged umbrellas. For medical, they need EpiPens, non-steroid inhalers, headlamps, organizational bins. For food, they need hot food for lunch, vegan food, gluten-free food, ice, no packaged food, no coffee, no bagels, no bananas, no nuts. For logistics, they need sleeping bags, AA, AAA, C and D batteries, rope, zip ties, electric or solar power, generators, lotion, aquifer, and no sunscreen. Gluten-free vegan food. I mean, brother, I think it's fine. You know what I mean? They're in the heart of Los Angeles, okay? It's not that difficult. When I got pizza for the protesters at the student encampment, I also got vegan options and gluten-free options as well. You know what I mean? It's not that big of a deal, you know? Yes, you can. Yeah, please ensure the donations are BDS compliant. You can donate to the you can donate to their link. I believe they have here, I'll see if we can find it. Very scary that this type of hardening of encampment will inevitably give credence for escalation of police response. They're trying to protect themselves. At the end of the day, you have power in numbers, and when the state very obviously stands aside and allows, and I will show you I will show you the images, which will help you, I think, understand exactly what occurred yesterday, last night at UCLA at the peaceful encampment overrun by counter protesters. They have a Venmo here. SJP UCLA Venmo right here. If you're outside of the state and you want to help them. Do I think counter protesters will face criminal charges? If there's enough pressure, potentially. But let's be real. Many of the counter protesters in the video are Persian. They explicitly use sexist Persian profanities in this video. There's a large Persian monarchist presence in this neighborhood, so entirely unsurprising. I can't say this enough, but for our Palestinian brothers and sisters need to know that this is not the majority attitude inside Iran. This is not even the majority attitude amongst many Iranians outside the country. These people represent the worst part of our community and heritage.
Clown! Uncover your face! Take mask! Take mask! Clown! Where are you from? Where are you from? Do you even speak Arabic? I'm a reporter. Have you been to Gaza? You speak Arabic? Have you been to Gaza? Send them there, send them there. What language do you speak? Where are you from? Where's your ancestors from? I'm a reporter. Why are you even here? You're just another dummy, right? Another stupid guy. No fucking brain, right? Just an idiot. Hello guys, this is one of the terrorists. Look at this kitty.
Jabberwocky's mask is so funny. Choice.
Get out of here! Get out of here! This is a terrorist! This is a terrorist! Fuck you!
A lot of the protesters have been actually unmasked as people who work and live in Israel. Wait, what? No way. UAW-UC just released a statement. Should the university decide to curtail the right to participate in protected concerted activity, discriminate against union members or political viewpoints, and create or allow threats to members' health and safety, among others, UAW 4811 members will take any and all actions necessary to enforce our rights. Told you, this is why unions are very important, okay? This is why intersectionality is best demonstrated by unions in moments such as this one. You understand? Yeah. Motherfucker wearing his, like, Ugg slippies, his pajamas, to go out, get out of his Bel Air mansion that his dumbass daddy bought and paid for, drive his little McLaren down to the UCLA campus to go beat on some students, dude. It's nice. It's great. If only there was someone this man could ask this question to, perhaps at his job instead of Twitter. I feel like I'm losing my mind a little. People don't understand that occupying buildings on campus is like one of the most common forms of student protest for decades, and not some devious new ploy devised by professional anarchist plotters, right? Yeah. I don't know if you know this, Chris. HasanAbi head Chris Hayes, but you're employed by MSNBC. Perhaps this would be a fun little opportunity for you to address these concerns you have on air, you know? Because the morning program is literally repeating this propaganda in the most devious ways. Yes, dude, a juicer was inside the encampment. Jesus Christ, you guys are so annoying.
Are the students? Tell me if you want a better angle.
Wait, that pump goes hard, brother. Hey, yo, bro, you think you could put this shit on a horizontal mode?
On what? On portrait?
Portrait, yeah. You might have to put your phone on yeah, put your phone on lock so it turns. Yeah, you have portrait lock. Yo, you have portrait lock on. Put landscape unlock or whatever. It's not flipping. Jesus, yo, bro, bro, put it back, put it back portrait, bro.
Put it back up.
Yeah, put it back portrait.
This is good overall, though. You know why this is good? Because obviously the juicers are very young. Okay, having one of them inside of the encampment is a good thing. Having all of them see that these protesters, these student protesters, are just like peaceful. They're just peacefully demonstrating against genocide is a good thing.
Yo, bro, rotate the phone, bro. Yeah, thank you.
Israel is a racist state.
Look at the juicer. That's what I'm talking about, dude. That's great. Brings a tear to my eye. Okay. Oh, here's Karine Jean-Pierre. Okay, let's just cover the UCLA protests real quick because I feel like I'm gonna have to dive into this really quickly. But what happened at UCLA last night is obviously unconscionable. It's gross. It's disgusting. What's peaceful about this? The students are peaceful. What's not peaceful is actually the counter protesters coming in and beating the shit out of students that they could get their hands on.
Pointed in the right direction could be very powerful.
Police will now stay on campus here at Columbia until at least May 17th. Yesterday, the university said in a statement that any of the students who were inside Hamilton Hall could face expulsion. But yesterday at CUNY, I heard from a student who was saying, look, we're all here in solidarity with the suffering in Gaza, and any consequence students face is just paling in comparison. Vlad.
All right, Lilia, thank you very much.
In this hour with New York City.
Facts about my 75-year-old black father. He watches Sam Piker literally every day. He talks mad shit about Taylor Swift constantly. That's awesome. All right, let's look at Karine Jean-Pierre. First, let's go through some of the details and the minutia, I guess, or rather, the significant violence that students experience. UCLA, why are you spreading misinfo? No, at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. That is not misinformation. That is real. Okay? Unlike the apartheid regime of Israel, the 3-minute ad break at the top of the hour is real. Okay? That part is real. Unless you subscribe for $5 or for free, in which case you won't actually see the ads at the top of the hour. We're going to dive into the UCLA counter protests, all the agitators that came from all around the neighborhood to beat on some students and do some West Bank style pogroms in the middle of UCLA campus, dude. So there's 24 minutes specifically detailing, what is this man simply too informed to not know that presidents obviously don't control how school administrators and law enforcement deal with local protests or riots. Why are these complaints not directed at local authorities? Law? Yeah, you're right. I said, good thing we voted for Biden so this would never happen. No, you don't understand. Biden is small bean, okay? Biden is a small bean. He has no power here, which is why he's only shit on the student protesters that are getting brutalized by the police and said that they are anti-Semitic. That's the only sentiment that he's expressed so far. Also, guys, if we don't vote for Biden, then Donald Trump is going to win. And then Donald Trump is going to do exactly the same things that Biden is doing, but much worse because he's all powerful. He's all powerful. This makes no sense. Makes no dang sense. You know, you have to vote for Biden so that Trump doesn't come in and then do the same things that Biden is doing and worse. Anyway, here's the first 24 minutes of the attack at UCLA campus. This is the song. Remember, they on GoFundMe raised a shit ton of funds specifically to set up a massive podium that is loud and disruptive to constantly play October 7 footage when they don't have like the worst techno music blaring, okay? Yeah. Jerry Seinfeld's wife, Jessica Seinfeld, gave $5,000, among many others. So as you can see, there is a necessity for why the encampments are protected this way, because people started when the university system decided, maybe we shouldn't protect these students after all. Immediately, these sick decided, oh, let's break into the encampment because they are rabid dogs. So the uniformed individuals you're seeing is campus safety. It's private security hired by the campus. And then you'll see some UCPD as well.
Take off your mask, you fucking pussies! Take off the mask! Take off the mask, you pussies! Take off the mask!
It's so funny that they're like, take off the mask, you fucking pussies. Meanwhile, the fucking counter protesters are all wearing masks because they literally are there to do violence. The students are wearing masks for two reasons. As we know, we've talked to the student encampment media liaison people. They're wearing masks because they don't want to get doxxed, and they're wearing masks for accessibility purposes. Now, of course, on the other side, the same people that are saying, take off your mask, you pussies, are wearing masks, okay? They're saying, epilepsy warning. If you have epilepsy, don't watch, okay? There's going to be strobe lights. We're watching protest footage, all right? There's going to be flashing lights, everybody. Oh, my God. As I was stating, what do you mean by accessibility purposes? This is a petri dish of disease if you don't actually properly protect yourself, especially if you're immunocompromised. What do you mean? That is the accessibility purpose there. Okay? It's too late. I looked. All right. Well, it's too late for you. All right. Hopefully you won't die. Wonder how the people who ask for epilepsy warnings are never people who need them. They're just like the virtue signal. It's fine. Respectfully, you don't have to dance around saying COVID. No, I mean, it's COVID, but also everything else I said is perfectly valid. What do you think when I say a petri dish for diseases, COVID is a part of that? What the That's wild. Everybody loves picking on the one thing that they care about the most, okay? I got it, chatter. That's why I covered that and more. Do you think they were agitators to purposely create chaos? I mean, look, what do you think they were doing there? Do you think they were there to simply ask questions? Even though when they go there to simply ask questions, the purpose is still the same, to agitate, to disrupt. Israel defenders always behave in the same exact ways that Israel does, like fascists, because they are fascists. Israel is a fascist state. Zionism is a fascist ideology, and those who are defenders of said fascist state and its fascist actions, such as ethnic cleansing, and its fascist maintenance of an apartheid regime, are, of course, going to behave in the same exact arrogant, violent ways as though they are, perfectly nestled in the midst of the West Bank, where the Israeli occupying force will come in and defend them. They can do the pogroms, and then the IDF will come in and sweep it up. Like, look at this shit. Remember Montana Tucker crying the other day? Like, they won't let me ask questions. Are they playing babies crying? What? Too easy to disrupt legitimate protests? Fascism as a word has no teeth at all. Only in your bubble, not in the mainstream, not regular people. People don't even know what it means. It doesn't matter. That's precisely the reason why I use the term Nazis, because everyone knows what a Nazi is. Okay? And yes, these counter-protesters are Nazis through and through. Israel is a Nazi-style state. Israel's actions are identical to the Nazi regime and the Nazi state. This is the reason why I use fascism and Nazism interchangeably, because most people don't know fascism, but they know what a Nazi is. And the reason why they hate Nazis is because of fascism. Identical is crazy. Is it? Is it though? Fascism is the underpinning ideological movement that the Zionist ideology represents. Same as the Nazis. Is it that crazy? Is it that crazy? Think about that. Is it? This ain't 2007 no more. Okay, chatter? Perhaps Israel should have dialed it back a little bit if it didn't want the truth to come out about its actions, and for broad populations in the Western world to see that reality. It is no longer relegated to the hyper woke socialist anti-Zionist movements that you could just cast aside. Now you have an entire generation that sees the truth. A lot of this stuff that would have been absolutely unimaginable, impossible to use, the terminology that was so quickly pounced on as anti-Semitic, no longer hits as hard. That's another thing that you're seeing alongside the arrogance demonstrated by Zionist defenders, is like the idea that the old versions of defending Israel no longer hit as hard, nor do they work, because people can actually see what Israel's doing. People are paying attention to what Israel is doing to the Palestinians. That's a big issue. How do you deal with Zionist gaslighting? I mean, I don't. It doesn't bother me at all. I have firmly held convictions. I have been advocating for Palestinian emancipation for a decade publicly. It's just that many people are now catching up, and it's great that they are. It's great that they're seeing the truth, seeing the reality. How do you counter it? The counter to Zionist gaslighting is just simply the truth, to speak the truth. That's it, and not mince your words.
No, I'm on YouTube.
Oh, on YouTube? YouTuber?
Yes. I wouldn't walk through there because something can come flying.
Oh, yeah?
Like some wood.
This is the safest place?
I would say, yeah.
I don't like that they're...
Welcome to the rice fields, mother. It's crazy.
By the time I had this rain bear spray. We're spraying bear spray, so it's hard to breathe over here right now.
Bitch, nigga, snitch, nigga, hoe, nigga, bitch, nigga, snitch, nigga, hoe. Bitch, nigga, snitch, nigga, hoe, nigga, bitch, nigga, snitch, nigga, hoe, nigga, bitch, nigga, snitch, nigga, hoe.
Yeah, it's like watching modern day Fry Course, but stupider. Yeah, no, literally.
Oh, nigga, nigga, snitch, nigga, hoe, nigga, snitch, nigga, hoe, nigga, snitch, nigga, hoe, nigga,
They're throwing stuff at the encampment. But Black Bloc, right? Remember, it's the outside agitators. The anarchists have joined the fray. They are the ones. They are the ones who are agitating, right? It's so cool that the cops are just watching these motherfuckers like openly provoke, openly try to fight. They want to say it so badly. Oh, they do. For the record, they do say it. They have said it. Yeah, then now they're playing the Israeli TikTok song, the Zionist song, the choice song for the TikTok viral trend where they were like torturing Palestinians that they've apprehended unjustifiably. It's so sick, man.
I'm shocked the cops aren't here.
No, the cameraman here is not a third party. It's Film the Police LA. He is an anarchist. He's a very famous LA area anarchist who is always filming cops. They hate him. I think his son might have been killed by the police, actually, I think, if I'm not mistaken. We have our disagreements, but it doesn't matter. He is always his son, I think, was killed by the Los Angeles Police Department. He's despite our All Israeli music is a version of like the shittiest techno you've ever heard, or Eurovision music. I swear to God. What was that back there? Pay attention to what's going on over here. Throwing shit. Trying to take off the... So one must ask, why are they trying to take off the barriers? Because they want to be able to... Because they want to be able to break in and beat the shit out of the students. Just so you know, Hitler Youth activities over here. It's just so gross. It's so goddamn gross, dude. Ugh, it's so gross. Is this why you are bending over backwards in protection of the Jews? These protests do have some external groups fanning the flames. One of them is non-Zionist Jewish groups that hate the Zionist state, modern day Israel. It's important to factor this in protest if protests turn violent. Non-Zionist Jewish groups are infighting and possibly piggybacking on the movement to further their own religious and political rebellion against the Zionist modern day Israeli state and giving out shekels to fuel. It says Reardville, USA. Bending over backwards in order to protect the Jews is a insanely Nazi version. Very cool choice words. See, that was Zionist dragged a student out and beat on him. Yeah, we're going to cover that in a second.
Watch your back. Hey, watch your back.
Every time a pro-Palestine student got outside the wall and beaten, they were swarmed like paparazzi with flash cameras. Yeah, by the way, that guy was using shekels in the 4chan way and not like the actual currency of Israel way. Yeah, that music, again, is the song that became a viral trend in Israel with the Israeli occupying force bastards kidnapping Palestinians in the West Bank and torturing them with that song. Just so you understand. Yeah, the alpha song played by the Zionist counter-protesters in so many of these videos is Mantara im Matara, an Israeli children's song the IOF blasted on an 8-hour loop to torture captive Palestinians, which of course turned into a disgusting Israeli settler TikTok trend. Like they started doing it to themselves, like because of how fun it was. Yeah. Just a psychopathic nation, dude. Sorry. It is just so it's sicko mode all the time, dude. Just not even remotely redeemable. Holy playing music and other sound clips over the PA like this is a common psyop tactic that has been used in the military by the US government. It's basically a form of torture to wear down an enemy and break people, especially the manner they're using it. Oh yeah. Why aren't people calling it the IOF now? I mean, I've been calling it the IOF for quite a while now because the Israeli Defense Forces don't engage in any kind of real defense. People call it the IOF because they call it what it actually is, an occupying force. It is the Israeli occupation force, Israeli occupying force. I get why I really hate you just pose about how insane everyone around them is in between two news updates. Yeah. It's a target-rich environment. These are mostly Christian Zionists, right? These counter-protesters? Probably not. I don't know. but this is Los Angeles, so most likely not. I would say that there are far more radical anti-Zionist Jews in New York than Los Angeles. Many of the anti-Zionist Jews I spoke to at that encampment talked about how difficult it was for them to make Jewish friends, specifically because of their disinterest in paying fealty to the state of Israel. Anyway, wait, hold on. Where were we? Let's continue.
Guy is just playing right through it. My guy is unfazed.
What was that all about? I'm sorry.
Well, yeah. No, a lot of Persian Zionists and anti-Iran types and just general fascists. Yeah.
I thought it's about this right here, what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. These people are uncivilized. They're hoodlums, man. They're hoodlums. You know what? The Israeli, I blame the Israelis, man. They're too aggressive. They're too aggressive. They're very warlike.
I mean, it's clear who started that.
Now, oh yeah, they came
They're
in
masked
here,
up all in black.
A group of thugs came in.
I saw them, yeah. Watch your back. Keep your...
Ben Ghalib of TYT was among the mob as an observer. I wonder what he observed. Maybe he observed stuff that he did not like. Maybe he's no longer defending Israel or Zionism in general. Who knows? Because I'm observing a bunch of outside agitators coming down to campus to get a couple licks in on some students at the behest of a psychopathic, rabid, genocidal apartheid regime engaging in an act of ethnic cleansing. In defense of such actions, that's what I'm observing. And when I observe this, I think to myself, gross, you're disgusting. Your parents should have swallowed you. You should have never been born. You are just a rabid, filthy little piece of shit, you know? That's what I'm observing.
Oh my God, I can't see.
They brought their bear mace out too.
Shit. Fuck my eyes. God. You let me get water out of this? Yeah, sure. Where's it at? It's inside the bag. Okay, hold on.
Yeah. Then they started lighting fireworks, you know, towards the encampment. They started launching fireworks in the direction of the encampment.
Oh, here's your backpack. Don't lose your backpack.
That's the reason you wear no sunscreen. Chad was asking about it. Guys, I mean, just like the Israeli government, this is defensive fireworks. You don't understand. These guys are very threatened by the presence of an anti-genocide demonstration on UCLA campus. That's why they traveled to the UCLA campus to launch fireworks directly in the direction of the peaceful protesters, you know, as an act of self-defense, because they were so scared that these anti-Zionist Jews and anti-Zionists alike were threatening them by saying, hey, Israel, maybe you should cut it out, you know? Damn, last time a Palestinian lit a firework near Israeli checkpoint, they got sniped. Yeah. Well, that kind of state violence goes only in one direction, not the other. They're coughing because they're bear macing all around. The counter protesters came in with bear mace, specifically to bear mace the people in the pro-Palestinian encampment. Yeah, this was a funny change in the abstract, but this is from 2 days ago. Pro-Palestinian student activists, many of whom are Jewish, taken out of the byline, Pro-Palestinian student activists say their movement is anti-Zionist, but not anti-Semitic. It is not a distinction that everyone buys. Why did they take out the many of whom are Jewish? There was so much mace in the air that the air was toxic to breathe, and I still have a sore throat. Yeah. Bear mace stays in the air for a while.
Fuck, man, I can barely see.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Remember, don't touch the eyes.
I know. And most of all, don't sweat.
Yeah.
It's hard to do it now.
Oh, here, let me show that one more time. Oh, by the way, here's some updates. I was going to talk about this because I've been in contact with some of the student activists, some of the organizers. Okay. Update from UCLA organizers. They're gathering officers' laws, trying to get a number of CHP, and may attempt to clear the encampment today. Also, UAW 4811 is planning on showing up en masse at 7 p.m. Pacific on UCLA campus. Also, another update, UCLA canceled classes today and declared the encampments illegal. Faculty were threatening to strike today. They're currently in an emergency meeting to see how to respond to last night's situation and things as they progress. UCLA encampment is currently on total lockdown. I can only come in and support if I know someone inside the encampment or if I'm just dropping supplies off. Supplies can be dropped off at the New Fowler Museum stairs by parking lot 5. I'm currently working on facilitating... I'm currently working on talking to the student organizers to see if I can attend as well. How many Jewish protesters are there? Do we have any data? I constantly get attacked by my Jewish friends that these protests are anti-Semitic, which is wild. I mean, I don't know if there's currently any kind of hard data on how many of the protesters are Jewish, but there's definitely a lot of Jewish anti-Zionists at that protest. I talked to many of them when I was there. They say the encampment is illegal, but nothing about these actual crimes that we saw. Admin at UCLA canceled the classes today. Faculty are calling for a strike in support of students tomorrow. The way our students were left completely unprotected is shameful. This is an assistant professor at UCLA of Asian American Studies Department, Noor Judah. Calling all faculty, no work on Thursday, May 2nd. We call on all UCLA faculty to refuse university labor tomorrow, Thursday, the day after May Day, in protest of the university administration's egregious failure to protect the students' protest encampment from attacks by self-professed and proudly Zionist mobs coming to campus every night to enact violence. Chancellor Block pointedly ignored the well-being and safety of these students in his campus message sent on Tuesday and failed to acknowledge it in his message today. Students from the besieged encampment wrote last night, the life-threatening assault we face is nothing. Tonight is nothing less than a horrifying, despicable act of terror. Many students were injured, as were several faculty who rushed to the encampment to support the students. As faculty, we find our university administration to be complicit in such terror. We thus ask all faculty colleagues to show support for our students and stop work, including teaching tomorrow, May 2nd. The conditions imposed on our students are also our working conditions. We will continue to work stoppage if the university administration continues to fail our students. It's not just the students, it's the faculty that is also joining the protest as well. UAW 4811, which is what I just mentioned, is obviously not just auto workers, but UAW is comprised not just only of auto workers, but also grad students as well. I suspect that that is the grad student union. So faculty and staff are also joining the protests in solidarity due to the unimaginable amount Wait, what? Check MHUD logs. One of them was literally a neo-Nazi. The guy that was coughing from pepper spray in the fireworks video is a neo-Nazi. More info on the video in the thread. Oh, this guy is? I was there. I got maced by this older man. Was coordinating the boys speaking Hebrew. They all had the same look. Brown hair, olive skin, and beards. If anyone has info about this guy, let me know. Leave our kids alone. They are a local transphobic movement that has been harassing our schools. A group of Israel supporters have attacked anti-war protesters at UCLA University of Los Angeles in the U.S. The group was filmed carrying out assaults and using fireworks and pepper spray on demonstrators at the Gaza war protest encampment. This is the info about the neo-Nazi. This guy, Narek Palyan, is a neo-Nazi. Zionist coordinated with a neo-Nazi to attack Jewish and Palestinian students and journalists.